Have you ever been looking at, say, a big purchase, maybe a car, and just wish the price could somehow drop, especially for something like an electric car? Well, today we're doing a deep dive into something that's doing just that,
Hmm.
the UK government's electric car grant. We're looking at how it's making EVs, electric vehicles, a bit more reachable. Our mission here is to unpack this grant, figure out which new models just got cheaper, and really understand what it means for you if you're maybe thinking about going electric. We're basing this on This Is Money piece that just broke the latest news.
Yeah, and it's quite something. We're talking about 650 million initiative. Transport Secretary Heidi Alexander announced it recently, and the stated aim is pretty clear, making it easier and cheaper for families to go electric. That's quite a direct message.
Easier and cheaper. Always good words to hear when you're car shopping. So how does it work? Is it just like a flat discount for any EV?
Hmm.
Or is it more complicated?
It's definitely got layers. It's a tiered structure,
Mhm.
actually. Understanding that is pretty important. There are basically two main bands. The top one gives you £3,750 off. That's for the what they call the most sustainable vehicles. Then there's a lower tier, which is £1,500, and that's where, well, a lot of these newly announced cars fit in.
Okay, tiers. 3,750 or 1,500
Yeah.
pounds. But why the difference? What makes a car most sustainable in their eyes? It's not just zero tailpipe emissions then.
No, not at all. And this is where it gets, quite interesting. It's about the embedded carbon emissions across a vehicle's lifetime.
Hmm.
So for that top tier, the manufacturer needs what's called a verified science-based target, or SBT. It's basically like a serious verified plan to cut their overall emissions significantly. And on top of that, they actually look at the production emissions. They assess the carbon intensity of the electricity grids where the car and the battery were actually made.
Wow, okay, so they're looking way beyond the car itself, back to the factory, the
Yep.
power grid supplying it. That's quite comprehensive.
It really is. It's pushing manufacturers to think about their entire supply chain's carbon footprint.
But for the buyer, for you walking into the showroom, is it simple? Do you have to fill out loads of forms to get this money back?
No, thankfully not. That's the good part for the customer. The discount is applied automatically, right there at the point of sale, so the price you see is the price you pay, minus the grant. No chasing rebates or anything like that.
Okay, that's a relief. Right, so we know how it works, more or less. The big question is, which cars are cheaper now? The article says 13 new models just qualified for the £1,500 grant. That brings the total up to 17 eligible models now. So which brands are we talking about?
The latest batch includes Nissan, Renault, and Vauxhall. They're joining Citroën, who had a few models announced just before. But yeah, it's worth noting again, all these new ones are in that £1,500 band, not the higher 3,750 one. The Department for Transport isn't commenting on, why specific models landed where they did, so we're kind of left to connect the dots based on the sustainability criteria we talked about.
Right. Okay, let's name some names. Starting with Nissan. What's new there?
Okay, Nissan. They've got two models now with the £1,500 discount. The all-electric Micra and the Area SUV. The Micra actually goes on sale September 1st, and with the grant, its starting price will be £21,495. The Area comes down to £38,165.
Okay, decent savings, but hang on, what about the Nissan Leaf? That's probably their best-known EV. Is that included?
Ah, the Leaf. That's the interesting one. It wasn't in this announcement for the £1,500 grant, but the article says it's anticipated to qualify for the full £3,750.
Oh, why the difference?
Well, this goes right back to the production side, the new Micra. It's built in France, shares a platform with the Renault 5. The Leaf, though, is built or will be primarily in Sunderland, and Sunderland is undergoing this massive transformation, remember, into that EV36Zero hub combining car production, battery making, renewable energy.
Ah, so the thinking is the Sunderland production might meet those tougher embedded carbon criteria for the top-tier grant.
Exactly. It really shows where and how a car is made matters for this grant. Nissan GB's boss, James Taylor, basically said they're just thrilled the Micra and Aria are now better value.
Fascinating. Really incentivizes that green manufacturing push. Okay, moving on. What about Renault? You said they had quite a few.
Yes, Renault has 5 models now getting the £1,500 off. There's the Alpine A290, that's the sporty one, then the Megane and the Scenic Electrics, and kind of excitingly, the new electric versions of the R4 and R5.
The R5. Wow. Okay, so what are the prices looking like for those?
Well, the R5 Electric starts at $21,495 after the discount, same as the Micra, interestingly. And the R4 E-Tech, that contemporary take on the Classic 4, starts at $25,495. Makes them pretty accessible.
Bringing back those icons is smart. How did Renault react?
very positively. Adam Wood, their UK MD, said they'd been pushing for this kind of government action, and Renault did something pretty generous, actually. They're backdating the discount. So if you bought one of these eligible models from July 16th onwards, you'll still get the £1,500 back.
Oh, really? That's quite a move. Good on them.
Yeah, definitely build some goodwill. And Edmund King from the AA also chimed in, saying this makes some incredibly good cars more affordable, and he specifically mentioned the Renault 5, and that Alpine A290 could be really popular because of this.
Right, I can see that. Okay, so that's Nissan and Renault. Finally, Vauxhall.
Vauxhall added 6 models. You've got the Corsa Electric, the Combo Life Electric, Astra Electric, Maka Electric, and the new Frontera and Grandland Electrics, all £1,500 off.
6 models, okay. Any other context there?
Well, yeah, the interesting bit with Vauxhall is that they already had their own £1,500 discount running privately funded, not the government grant. That was due to end August 31st anyway. So it shows manufacturers were already feeling the pressure or seeing the need to make EVs more competitive even before this official grant kicked in for them.
Right, market forces at play too. And just quickly, we should remind listeners, the Citroens were the first ones, right?
That's right. 4 Citroen models kicked this whole thing off earlier. The EC3, EC4, EC5, and the eBerlingo. They got the ECG first.
Okay, so 17 models in total, now cheaper thanks to the grant. What about the bigger picture, the wider market?
Well, Simon Williams from the RAC welcomed this, obviously. More choice, lower prices, good news. But he also made a really good point this year that he noted that even other manufacturers, ones that don't currently meet these specific green production targets for the grant, are still cutting their prices anyway.
So the grant might be creating ripple effects, driving competition across the board.
It seems like it. It suggests there's broader pressure building in the market to make EVs more appealing on price, not just relying on government handouts, which, is probably a healthy thing long term.
So for anyone listening who's maybe been watching EV prices, what's next? Is this the end of the announcements?
Doesn't sound like it. The government confirmed more models are expected to be approved soon, saying they're processing applications quickly. So if you're in the market, the best advice is probably just to keep checking the official government website and the carmakers' own sites for the very latest list.
Okay, good advice. So let's just quickly wrap up what we've covered in this deep dive. The main takeaway seems to be this electric car grant is making a real difference to the upfront cost for quite a few new EVs, now 17 models and counting. It could genuinely make switching to electric a bit easier for more families.
Definitely. But it does lead to a broader thought, doesn't it? The article we looked at also mentioned, almost in passing, this used car boom as drivers shun expensive new models and EVs. So, given that backdrop, are purchase grants like this, even generous ones, enough on their own to really speed up new EV adoption? What about other factors, like how easy is it really to charge? What are people's long-term worries about batteries? Or just the general economic climate, how much do those things weigh against a £1,500 or even a 3,750 discount right now? Something to think about, perhaps.